Hello everybody, this is me, Super Money J, and welcome to another episode of Let's Review My Collection, a series in which I will be looking at a bunch of stuff from my room or my collection and try to have them all into one video, or multiple parts, it really depends. Previously I had looked at my Nintendo Switch physical games, which were just the cartridges, sadly, no game case with them. But today I'm going to be taking a look at my digital games, as I do have a bunch of digital games that I would like to talk about. And yeah, just review them, try to do as quick as possible, because yeah, I'm not trying to have this be like the last one, which was like almost an hour long. So yeah. Now, what's funny enough is that I had 40 plus physical Switch games, but I also have over 40 plus Nintendo Switch digital games. So it's almost like my library is half and half when it comes to physical and digital. But for most of these, it's also because I had to go with digital, just because my store wouldn't get the physical for some reason. So yeah, I'll tell you all about them when I have the chance. So yeah, so without further ado, let's just jump on in with the very first one, being Super Mario Party Jamboree. Now, this was a game that my retail store over in Sicily never got for some reason, even though they were supposed to get all of the Switch games in the US version. So yeah, now, when it comes to physical games, I want to get them in the US version, which now that I think about it, it sucks, because I could have also gotten the very different game case for Breath of the Wild, one where Link is looking up to the camera in a patch of grass. So yeah, that was a missed opportunity. But besides that, I want to get the US game case, just because, again, they're in English, not in Italian or any other language where I won't be able to understand them. So yeah, but sadly, my store never got them. So yeah, I had to stick with digital, but it's fine or whatever. And yeah, now going back to Super Mario Party Jamboree, this game is honestly amazing. It is one of the best Mario Party games ever. Now, I was worried when this first got announced, because it's Super Mario Party, which the first Super Mario Party game was all about the Joy Cons and motion controls, which I thought sucked. So I was a little bit worried that with Jamboree. However, you didn't need to have Joy-Con to play the game. You could have played this with a Pro controller, which I was super happy to hear about that. And yeah, the boards are neat. They're fine. Some of them are fun. Some of them aren't. I like the regular one a lot more. Also the race car track one. And then my least favorite one is the Mario's Rainbow from Mario Party. I don't like that one at all. Also, another favorite of mine is Restaurant Land. So yeah, there's that one too. But yeah, with a wide range of characters to play as, this game is very fun. The Jamboree Buddy mechanic is also fun. And yeah, and also I should mention too that the game itself is the Switch 1 version, not Switch 2. So yeah. Alrighty. Also, if I were to give this a score, 8 out of 10. There you go. Alrighty, next up here we have is Mario and Luigi Brothership. Now, the IP is finally back. Mario and Luigi are back on the Nintendo Switch. Finally, after so long, it honestly felt like Superstar Saga for the 3DS and Bowser's Inside Story for the 3DS should have been on the Switch, but for some reason they never were, and because of that, Alpha Dream went bankrupt and disbanded, which we all thought Mario and Luigi were never going to come back. However, I believe it was last year. I kind of forgot when this game. Yeah, it had to have been last year though. Yeah, 2024. I could be wrong on that. I don't see it's been so long. But yeah, this game came out either last year. Man, that's actually gonna bother me now. You know what? I'm gonna say last year. This game came out last year, and while yes, it did get some mixed reviews, I found the game to be pretty enjoyable. I love the story. I love the characters. I love the battle mechanic, obviously, and yeah, it's awesome to see Mario and Luigi in actual 3D. Um, so yeah, I love the ship mechanic. I love going to all of these different islands and seeing the different residents. The end game is honestly pretty cool, even if it lags a lot. So yeah, I love the boss fights. I love everything about this game. Really, um, there might be some things that I have a problem with. Obviously the frame rate, but other than that, I can probably just dismiss them. So yeah, so for me, when it comes to this game, I'm probably gonna give it like maybe an 8.5 out of 10, maybe a 9, close to there. So yeah, I'm definitely not gonna give it, like a mediocre score, like unlike some people on the internet. So yeah. All right, now moving on to Mario Tennis Aces. This is a game that came out all the way back in 2018, and as someone who loves to play tennis, I was very happy to see this game get announced and released back in 2018. But with the game itself, I would say it does fall into that same trap with Mario Golf, Super Rush, and Mario Strikers Battle League, in which the game is just super bare bones. It did have a very interesting story mode, but it was really nothing more than just going to like separate levels, quote unquote, and just doing like certain missions or completing a certain goal. Which I mean, they're fine. The boss battles though were kind of fun, but other than that, it really was just basic Mario Tennis all around. Now I do love the mechanic with the energy gauge. I think that's pretty cool. Being able to slow down time or increase your shot, increase the speed of your shot by a ton, even being able to break your opponent's racket. I think that's a fun mechanic in the game. But other than that, the fact that it came out with a story mode that had such a lackluster beginning, especially since the cutscene for Wario and Waluigi that got added later on in the game's life, that wasn't there on launch, so that was dumb. And yeah, also the voice clips of Mario saying Luigi, after Luigi, is possessed, is so funny. It's clear that it was just reused audio, and so yeah, that was funny. Also, the fact that it didn't really have a lot of characters. Well, it had a lot of characters at launch, but it wasn't as big as it was today. So that again, doing that same mode, adding updates, adding more content post launch, which sucked. So yeah, now I would probably give this a 7 out of 10, just because again I still love the game at the end of the day and whatnot. Alrighty, moving on to Arcade Archives, Mario Bros. This is apparent. Now this is the arcade version of Mario Bros, not the NES version, and yeah, and I believe this came out back in 2017, and and at that time it was pretty much the only way to play Mario Bros. Same with Super Mario Bros, which I did to a little bit later, without having to download the NES online app. So yeah, but for what they are, they're pretty cool. It allows you to play the game, it allows you to play the arcade game just the way it is. It also has like a time trial mode, which I think it's like you have like 10 minutes. I know it's in Super Mario Bros. I don't know if it's in this one as well. But there is also a high slow mode, which again, it's really just how what the highest slow you can get in that run. So yeah, but overall, it's a very neat game. Although I would give it a 6 out of 10 just because it's really just that. It's nothing more, nothing else. So yeah. All right, then moving on to the archives, uh, versus Super Mario Bros. Well, actually, yeah, was it? No, okay, no. I kind of forgot about the whole versus thing in the Mario Bros. Title. Oh, in the Super Mario Bros. Title. Excuse me. But yeah, this is again just it's just a port of the arcade game of the Super Mario Bros. Game, which is now called Versus Super Mario Bros. Which is, and that's meant to sort of be the more competing with another opponent in Super Mario Bros. For the highest score, which I found it to be very interesting. Because it is kind of weird how in the NES version there is a high score, or there is a score all around, which doesn't really do much at the end of the day. There's no leaderboard in the NES version, but in the arcade version there is, and therefore it actually gives you a reason to increase your high score. So yeah, but again, this is just the Super Mario Bros. Game. I believe there might be some differences, but I'm not exactly too sure. But yeah, but just like Mario Bros, I am gonna give this game a 6 out of 10 just because it's fine. Now that I have the NES version of these two games, I don't really go back to these two a lot. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for both of them. Although I do hope that Archives gives us a versus Dr. Mario. I want that one so badly. Next up here we have is Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. Now, I'm a little bit confused on whether this should be a digital or a physical game, just because in order for you to play this game, you need to have the actual kart itself, the kart camera or the Luigi kart camera. But since the app is a digital download, I am just going to count this as digital. But yeah, I would say this was a very unique take on the Mario Kart franchise. I actually kind of like it a lot. This came out back in 2020 or 2021, as part of Mario's 35th anniversary. And yeah, I really do love how you're able to take Mario Kart and actually put it in real life. You're able to take it up to have these go karts drive around your house, and you're able to play Mario Kart while you're driving in your house. And seeing all of the videos of dogs and cats, looking at the Mario and Luigi karts, all curious, even some of them running away. It was pretty funny. So yeah, but I mean, other than that, it's really nothing too special. I would say, yeah, yeah, sure, it's innovating and it's kind of cool, but other than that, it's really nothing more than just Mario Kart, but live, I guess. Also the tires that are on these carts would get dirt on them or hail depending on what's on the floor, which can be a pain to clean up. So yeah, that sucks. But yeah, but I mean, overall, like I think the AR camera is good, but other than that, a 6 out of 10. But it does have Dr. Mario as a costume though, so that's appreciative. Alrighty, next up here we have is Splatoon 3, the sequel to Splatoon 2, which also happens to be a prequel to Splatoon 1. And yeah, now I was never expecting to see Splatoon 3 on the Switch 1. I was always thinking we would get that on the Switch 2. But no, come to my surprise, they did announce Splatoon 3, which I believe that came out in 2022, maybe 2023. I'm honestly kind of lost on my release dates, to be honest. Um, but yeah, maybe it did come out in 2022 because I think I got the game in 2023. So yeah, but just like Splatoon 2, my goodness, Splatoon 3 is pretty much is an upgraded version of Splatoon 2, which it does have I might even say it might have a different graphics, somewhat maybe higher resolution than Splatoon 2. Because I do know that the way that you start a game is, instead of having the screen automatically go to the launch pad, you can actually launch anywhere at the starting of your map, and also aim it wherever. So yeah, I mean, it's the graphics themselves are new. Some of the characters themselves are new. The story mode is actually pretty funny and awesome. I love that. I love that story mode a lot. The hatch of the mammals or something. I don't know. I kind of forgot. But yeah, then we also had the introduction of I can't even deep cut. I believe that's the name. A trio with an Octoling, a Squid, and a Manta Ray, which they're a pretty funny trio. But they're definitely not my favorite idol groups in the Splatoon universe. Um, and yeah, there's also some new weapons, new stages, and all that sort of stuff that you get in a new Splatoon game. Salmon one does come back, but with a little bit more updated to it. Bigger maps, more bigger bosses, which my goodness, they can be tough sometimes. And yeah, it also does have tough battle, which that's a fun little card game. It also does include some DLC, like being able to explore around Inkopolis or Ink Plaza. I kind of forgot what the name was. In Splatoon 1, and you also were able to explore the Ink Plaza in Splatoon 2 as well. After you complete the side order DLC, which features Paul and Marina. And yeah, I mean, overall, it's a very awesome package. If I were to give this a score, and again, it'll probably be around an 8.5 to 9. So yeah, overall, it's an amazing game that I still play to this day. Alrighty, next up here we have is Super Kirby Clash. Now this is pretty much I guess this is a port of the 3DS game, eShop, and yeah, and it makes its way over to the Nintendo Switch. Now this game is also, I don't want to say it's heavy on money, but you can buy jam apples, which can range from 99 cents to hundreds of dollars. Now I don't plan on doing that whatsoever, just because I think that's kind of dumb. Especially for a Kirby game on Switch. Like, come on now. But yeah, but in Super Kirby Clash, you can it's pretty much like a battle royale. A battle. Um, I don't want to say it's like um man, it's not a boss rush, but you're pretty much fighting bosses, but you can also fight them whenever you want, however you want, and yeah, they're all four classes for Kirby in this game. the swordsman, the magician, the doctor, or the medicine, and then I believe let's see, can I see? Oh, and the hammer too. I forgot about the hammer. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of bosses that you can fight in this game, but it will take a lot of time if you are free to play. Which that's where the whole money comes in. Which again, I think that's stupid. That's dumb. I don't even know why that was there in the first why that's there in the first place. So yeah, I'm gonna give this game a 7 out of 10 because I mean it's fine. I sort of go back to it from time to time to keep on getting new bosses and whatnot. But yeah, it's not really my main priority that I should. It's not one of the games that I focus my attention on anymore. So yeah, next up here we have is Flip Wars. Now this was a game that I got on maybe on the year that it came out. Um, it's made by Nintendo, which that should be noted. But yeah, but Flip Wars is it's a fun little multiplayer game where you and some of your friends or just the CPU, you flip over tiles, and whoever has the most tiles flipped over at the end of the game wins. And yeah, there's also some cool power ups and additional maps and whatnot. And yeah, I just found the game to be really fun. I know I used to play this game sometimes with my friends back in high school, and I had a pretty good time with it. Now sadly, the online mode is the online community for this game is, I would assume, it's dead. It's not really that big of a game. So yeah, 6 out of 10 just because of that. There isn't really much to this game besides flipping tiles and whatnot. I believe there are some additional modes, but I haven't really bothered to play them. Nor do I care to do so. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for Flip Wars, but at the end of the day, it's still a pretty fun game. Now, going on to the Nintendo Classics apps, I am gonna try to go through these as fast as I can, in rapid succession. So yeah, let's just begin with the NES app. Definitely has some bangers for some video games. Super Mario Bros. The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Earthbound Beginnings, Dr. Mario. Obviously, I can't forget to mention that. But yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of titles that are from the NES. Most of them are just like, I don't want to say they're junk titles, but some of them are just like, what do I call them? Most of them are from third parties, I will say. So yeah, while you do have a bunch of Nintendo games, first party Nintendo games on the NES, you have a bunch of third party games from other publishers as well. So yeah, but I mean, other than that, I don't play Dr. Mario at this point on this app. So yeah, 7 out of 10, I guess. So yeah. Moving on to the Super Nintendo Classics app. Now it's just the same as the NES, but instead it's all SNES games. So you do have Super Mario All Star, Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Super Metroid, Star Fox, Star Fox 2, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. Oh man, I almost I almost got the name mixed up. Um, I believe F-Zero as well. I'm trying to give some other. You also have the Kirby games on there as well. Then some other first party games. Oh, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. Um, yeah, and I can't think of any other any first party games. But also just like the NES, you do have a bunch of third party games as well. So yeah, 7 out of 10 just for that alone. So yeah. Moving on to the Nintendo 64 app. Now this one is something that everyone has been waiting for, and this came out back in 2021, and this was the very first thing that you would get in the expansion pack. So yeah, the Nintendo 64 does come with a bunch of amazing games: Super Mario 64, Dr. Mario 64. I can't forget that as well. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Star Fox 64 3D, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. Well, no, yeah, Banjo-Tooie. I kind of forgot that came out on the app. What else am I'm forgetting some other games. Mario Kart 64, and some other titles too. And also as well as third party. However, we are missing some games like Donkey Kong 64. What else am I? Man, I had another game in my mind too, but I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, same thing with the SNES. We all missing some games like Super Mario RPG as well as Yoshi Safari. But I do think with the mouse mode being added to it, we might get Yoshi Safari as well. But going back to the N64, yeah, it's an amazing collection of N64 games. Definitely, some of them are classics, some of them are not. Um, it's really up to you on whether or not you want to give them a try or not. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 just for that, just for the score and also the games that it comes with. Moving on to the Game Boy. Now the Game Boy, I believe you can get from the basic pack, NSO pack, the $20 a year one, not $50. And yeah, now this app comes with a bunch of first party games as well. Super Mario Land, Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins. Wario Land 3, I believe that's what it's named. Dr. Mario for the Game Boy, obviously. Man, I really am at a loss for words. Metroid, the Return of Samus, I believe that's the name. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and yeah, some other games. Tetris, obviously, you can't forget about Tetris. And then, yeah, then you also do have some other like shovelware games and whatnot added to it. And yeah, again, we're also missing some games as well. Like for example, the Super Mario Bros. Deluxe Game Boy Color game that should be on there. For some reason, it's not. Also, I forgot to mention the Mario Tennis and Mario Golf Game Boy versions are also on there as well. Same with the N64. But yeah, now I am gonna have to drop my score down to like a 7 out of 10 just because again these are Game Boy games. Nothing really too special, but I mean they're still classics at the end of the day. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Alrighty, now moving on to the Game Boy events. Now I do feel like we should probably get some more games on here soon, just because like I feel like we're not really getting a ton of them. We do have the Super Mario Advance series though, so that's cool. We do have Zelda and the Minish Cap. We have the first Metroid game on there as well as Metroid Fusion. I believe we have a Fire Emblem game on there as well. Um, I can't exactly remember for sure, but yeah. But also we do have some other games obviously as well. Third party and whatnot. We're somehow missing Sonic Advance 1, 2, and 3. I kind of wish Sega would bring them over. I don't know if they plan on ever putting them in a collection or not. But yeah, um, Game Boy Advance cool and all. Also I forgot some other games like Wario Land Full and Mario Kart Super Circuit and whatnot. The WarioWare micro games or something. I forgot what the name was, what of it was called. But it's WarioWare. We all know what to expect from that franchise. And yeah, I am gonna give this a 7 out of 10 because also it has Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and I think with that I am gonna bump it up to an 8 out of 10. The games themselves are cool and classic, and also you can't go wrong with Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. So yeah. Now moving on to Tetris 99. It's fun. I only get back to the game just to get special backgrounds, special themed backgrounds. Like Donkey Kong, DK Bonanza, um, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Pokemon, and all that. So yeah, I don't really go back to this game a lot. I did get one win, however, so I am happy with that. But Tetris 99, 7 out of 10. You definitely don't get a lot with the free version. You have to pay for DLC. And yeah, and overall, I just think it's a pretty bare bones game. So yeah, it's not really a favorite of mine. I don't like going back to this game at all. Whenever I have to do whenever I have to get the background. So yeah, moving on to the jump rope challenge game. Now this one is a bit interesting as this was, I believe it was released during around the pandemic. Um, and yeah, it was very interesting. It was a way for Nintendo to get people to get up and exercise, even though we had Ring Fit though. So I would Ring Fit Adventure, I would say. But yeah, but for what jump rope it is, it's pretty much just jump rope. How many times you can jump? Nothing really too crazy. It is one way to get exercise though. So yeah, 6 out of 10 just because it is bare bones and whatnot. I do like how it keeps track of your record though, for each day, and also you can also have like additional costumes as well as different backgrounds. Alrighty, now we're moving on to some third parties. We have Hatsune Miku, Project Diva. Let me see, Mega Mix. There we go. And yeah, uh, I've been a fan of Hatsune Miku games at least maybe since 2014, 2015. when a friend of mine was playing Hatsune Miku on the Nintendo 3DS, I bought the game for it myself, and I loved it. So when I saw that Hatsune Miku was getting a game on the Switch, I had to pick it up, but not until it was on a sale. Because my goodness, this game has a bunch of DLC, which I don't know how you feel about that. I think that's a bit annoying, and it's not like there are so many songs to add through DLC. It's almost like it's its own separate game, to be honest with you. So yeah, but I do love the music overall. I have a great time playing with it, playing the game. Um, it can get a little bit crazy though with the with having to time your button presses to the letters that pop up on the screen. But overall, it's still a fantastic game. I love it all. I love the characters, and I love how you can dress them up all in different costumes based on the songs that they're playing. And yeah, I'm gonna give this game an 8 out of 10. Now moving on to Finish Boxing featuring Hatsune Miku. I got this game at the beginning of 2025 because I did want to try and lose some weight. Without having to go to the gym, because like I don't want to. All I'm gonna do over there is just run on a treadmill. So yeah, so I rather be active and moving rather than just walking and running. So I got Finish Boxing Hatsune Miku version because it was on sale, and yeah, and I was very interested to see how it would do. Now I will say it did help me with losing some weight, but not by a lot. I did have to do some other stuff outside of the game, to help lose weight. Like for example, uh not eating well, not eating too many junk food. I would say to be specific, um yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, this game has helped me a lot with losing weight. I definitely recommend picking up the finished boxing games, whichever version you pick up, whether it be the Nintendo ones or the Fist of the North Star one, or Hatsune Miku, because with this version you can also play exercise to some Hatsune Miku songs. And yeah, um, with that, I'll give this one an 8 out of 10 as well. Because sometimes the motion controls, which yes, that's pretty much how the whole game works. Sometimes the motion controls can get a little bit funky. Sometimes it won't read, which can suck if you're trying to stay with having a combo and whatnot. So yeah. Alrighty, next up here we have is Sonic the Hedgehog, the Sega age of Sonic the Hedgehog. Pretty much just the first Sonic game, but put it over to the Switch. Um, Great game. I had so much fun with it. I was able to get all of the Chaos Emeralds and then play as Super Sonic. Um, and yeah, overall, it's still a fun game that Sonic fans all know and love. And yeah, if I gave it a score, I'd probably be nice and give it an 8 out of 10. Because to be honest, I haven't really gone back to play it, so I would want to give it a 7 out of 10. But again, because I had a fun time with it, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Moving on to Sega Age of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now this one I haven't really been playing a ton of, which sucks as I did buy these two back to back when they were on sale. So I should probably go do that soon after this video. But yeah, but I mean, from what I can see, it's just Sonic again, but now with Tails and Knuckles. And yeah, and I assume this game is great as well. So yeah, I'm gonna take Sonic's fans' word for it. And yeah, I can't really give this a score because I haven't beaten the game yet. I have probably only touched like the first 2 or 3 levels, and that's about it. So yeah, for now, I'm not gonna give this game a score yet, just because I have not beaten it yet. Alrighty, moving on to Pac-Man World Re-PAC. A fun game. I would say it definitely worth it to get it on sale. I don't think it's worth the full price. But yeah, who would have thought the Pac-Man World games would be coming back with brand new graphics? And what a perfect time for to talk about Pac-Man World than Pac-Man World 2 Re-PAC coming out soon. So yeah, I mean, overall, I was able to beat the game. I was able to 100% the game. And overall, I had a great time with it. But once you beat the game and once you 100% the game, there isn't really much to go back to. So yeah, once I did that, I haven't really touched this game since. And because of that, I am gonna give this game a 7 out of 10, just because again, while it's fun, it doesn't really leave you with much after. So yeah. Moving on to Pac-Man Museum Plus. Now, this is a game that I actually have a ton of fun with. Um, even if some of the games in Pac-Man Museum Plus can be a bit of an annoying, it comes with a bunch of Pac-Man games, all from the arcade to make even some like on on mobiles. Like for example, Pac-Man 256. I love that game a lot. Um, so yeah, you're able to play a bunch of different Pac-Man games. You're able to design your very own arcade room, which I think that's awesome. And yeah, for a price of, I believe it's like 20 to 30 bucks, you can have a bunch of old Pac-Man games on your system and play them wherever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want. At least on the Switch version. This game I am gonna give it a 7 out of 10 just because similar. Just because again it is old Pac-Man games, and once you've sort of played them, you're all gonna have some games that you don't want to go back to. So yeah. Moving on, we have the Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 Plus. I can't I've played this game through its entirety, but and while I've had fun with it, I can't really say too much about it just because I don't really know what to say about it. It's fun, alright. I will say that. Being able to chain like an entire line of ghosts, that is such an awesome feeling. And also the games themselves go fast as well. They're all like time attack levels, which have been can be a bit of a pain sometimes if you're trying to go for like the S range, which I was able to do that. So I am it's either the S or A range. I kind of forgot which one is the highest grade that you can get on the levels and overall in its entirety. So yeah, but I mean, I had a fun time with it. It can be a bit challenging sometimes, but I mean, hey, the whole point of the games is to get better. And yeah, now this one I'm probably gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Just because similar to like the other two Pac-Man games, once you've sort of gone through the whole entire game, there isn't really much to go back to unless you want to get a high score, and which if you also got the highest rank on the levels, then guess what? There isn't really much to go back to either. So yeah, but I mean overall it's a fun game, and I definitely do recommend picking it up if you're a Pac-Man fan or if you want to get into the Pac-Man series. Alrighty, moving on to Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. This is a compilation of 4 different games. Shovel Knight, the main game, as well as some DLC. I kind of figured out the names of them, but one of them has you playing as like this green magician or a green person who has bombs that they can throw. Then you're also playing as this like red, almost like Grim Reaper kind of character who has a sight as a weapon. And then you're also playing as like this yellow king Shovel Knight person. It's not really Shovel Knight, but they look identical to Shovel Knight with the helmet. But yeah, but I believe in that one you're playing like a card game. So yeah, I've only done Shovel Knight and the first 2 DLC packs. The one with the green dude and the red dude. Sorry if I can't say the names. I kind of forgot. I really only know Shovel Knight and Shield Knight, and that's about it. So yeah, forgive me on that. But yeah, I mean these games are honestly fantastic. They are amazing. I love each and every one of them, or at least the first 3 that I played. I have not played the King card one yet. I might, but I don't really know if I want to go into learning about a card game. So yeah, but overall it has a bunch of content for you to do. It has the main games themselves, as well as the DLC, a challenge mode. I believe there's also like a fighting game mode. So yeah, but overall it's fantastic. I definitely recommend picking it up. If I'm giving this a score, I would probably say an 8.5 out of 10. It might go up to a 9 if I were to ever play the last DLC one, which that being Golden Knight or Clean Knight. I believe that's the name. So yeah. Also, the amiibo function is pretty cute. It just gives you a fairy character based on the amiibo. So yeah, that's adorable. Alrighty, moving on to Jump King. What a frustrating game. Oh my goodness. I wanted to break my Pro Controller so badly when playing this. There is a main mode and also 2 additional modes or DLCs. And I was able to beat all 3 of them. And I am never going to do any of the Jump King new mods again. I don't care if it's on PC. I don't care if you need to download a mod, or I don't care. I'm only going to do the official ones, and that's it. I'm not going to do any other ones. This is my goodness. But I will say I've been going back to the at least the main jump king mode, and being able to get a faster time. So yeah, so that's pretty cool, um, and whatnot. The graphics themselves are 8-bit, similar to like a Shovel Knight, or maybe 16-bit. Nah, I'm pretty sure it's 8-bit. No wait, it might be 16-bit. I don't know anymore. I'm confused. But yeah, it does go for a little bit more of like an 8 or 16-bit art style, which I find it to be amazing and cool and whatnot. So yeah, now your job is to reach to the top of the tower to rescue the babe. That's actually the name of the character I was to say. So don't get at me for that. But yeah, you reach the top, but you only are able to jump. You can't. Well, you're also able to walk around too. But your main way of getting to the top is to jump, and you have to time your jumps very well, which can be very frustrating sometimes. But once you just sort of get the hang of it and you're able to do it consistently, that's where the real fun begins. Uh, and yeah, and if I were to give this a show, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. Because while yes, this is amazing as well as the additional DLC modes, it can be very, very frustrating. So yeah, you're gonna need to have a lot of patience to beat this game. Moving on to TMNT Shredder's Revenge, a very fun TMNT beat 'em up game that is inspired by the old TMNT games from way back then. And yeah, it has a very nice, I believe it is 16 or maybe 32-bit art side to it, which I appreciate it a lot. I do love my old school bit graphics games on modern console, and I just love it a lot. You're able to play as a bunch of different TMNT characters, Donnie, Mikey, Leonardo, Raphael, April, Casey Jones, Splinter, and whatnot. And yeah, the levels themselves are fun. Like I said, they're beat 'em. This is a beat 'em up game, and whatnot. So yeah. It also has been coming out with some additional content, which I appreciate that a lot. I have not been able to play them though, so yeah, I'm gonna have to do that eventually. But yeah, but giving this an overall score, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because you know what, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 because I love it. I love this game so much. I've been having such a blast with it. Being able to go back and beat up a bunch of characters from the TMNT franchise, also having some missions along with it too. And being able to play as your favorite TMNT character, it's just such an awesome feeling. And yeah, so yeah, with that, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. All right, moving on to Angry Video Game Node 1 and 2 Deluxe. Now, if you don't know what the Angry Video Game Node is, he is pretty much the Angry Video Game Node is a internet series that goes on YouTube and also on like the Cinemassacre channel or website. In which it stars a node who is very angry and plays a bunch of bad games. Now, he has his very own 2 games. Also, there's also another new one coming out called the Angry Video Game Node 8-bit. But yeah, this is a compilation of 1 and 2. Very difficult games, I will say, at least platforming-wise. So yeah, if you want to get angry, this is the game for you. But yeah, the graphics themselves, I believe they're also they're supposed to be 8 or 16-bit. Following the same old style as these 2 games, and also Shovel Knight. But yeah, I mean overall the game itself is a lot of fun and whatnot. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for this game because it can be a bit frustrating sometimes. Moving on to BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. I really only got this game for Ruby, which I'm not that big of a fan, but I did sort of watch the show back then, and when I saw that the characters were making their way into this fighting game, I decided to pick it up when it was on sale and give it a go. I've really only done the story mode for Ruby, and that's about it. I haven't really gone back to this game since. So yeah, I mean I do love the tag mechanic though. Being able to switch out characters. 2 characters back and forth. I think that's awesome though. But yeah, 7 out of 10 because I haven't really gone into this game too much. So yeah. Next up here we have is Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game. Very fun game, very awesome. I like Scott Pilgrim. At least the franchise itself. I love the movie, and when I saw that the game was coming to the Switch, I had to pick this up. And yeah, it's a beat 'em up game similar to TMNT Shredder's Revenge. And yes, seeing the Star Pilgrim, actually being able to play the Star Pilgrim game, that's amazing. It was so much fun being able to battle all of the 7 evil X's, and the levels themselves were fantastic as well. And yeah, um, you're able to play as a bunch of different characters: Star Pilgrim, um, Kim, Knives, Chow, Wallace, and many other characters too. Again, this game is fun and just funny overall, and yeah, giving this a score of 8 out of 10. Moving on to Cuphead, what an amazing game! Not just the main mode itself, but the DLC as well. Very challenging, I will say. My goodness, you're gonna be stuck on these bosses forever. But once you beat them, it is such a satisfying feeling as you can now move on to the next boss. And yeah, this is just a fun game. I love the art style. I love everything about it. I love the animation. I love the characters. And yeah, I would give this a 9 out of 10. Only thing that's stopping it from being a 10 out of 10 is again the difficulty. It can be a bit frustrating from time to time, and but hey, it's really just about how you can come back from your mistakes and whatnot. Alrighty, moving on to Wheel of Fortune. This is just the Wheel of Fortune game, but on consoles. It doesn't have the main guy and the main host, so that's the main host. Host. My goodness, I can't. HOSTS. There we go. My goodness. The guy in the door the main guy in the door that you see on TV, not the new ones. I believe the old host name is Pat. Um, I think the old lady's name, the old host lady's name is Vanessa. I think I could be wrong though. But yeah, it's a classic Wheel of Fortune game that you may know and love, but on consoles. And yeah, I've had a blast with this. I was able to get all of the cosmetics in this game. And yeah, and I do go back to this game from time to time just to kill time. And yeah, I love this game a lot. But again, there's not. I mean, there's still some stuff to do, but I haven't really bothered to check it out. And so with that, I am gonna just give this game a 7 out of 10. Alrighty, now moving on to WBSC eBaseball Power Pose. This was a game that I was kind of shocked to see was only 99 cents. I was like, there's no way this game is 99 cents. Sure enough, it was on the eShop for 99 cents, and that's actually the price it is, at least as far as I know. That might have changed. I haven't gone back and checked the price. But for 99 cents, you can get a very fun baseball game. Even if it might not be Mario Baseball, it's still a baseball game. And yeah, I've been having so much fun with it. Now, I'm not familiar with the catches though, so forgive me on that. But yeah, um, overall, 7 out of 10. Because yes, you're able to do like a seasons mode, like I think, also like a tournament mode. But I think this game really focuses on the online mode, which sucks. Um, Especially since I think you're playing with players from Japan, and having that internet connection can kind of not be as reliable as much. So yeah, but other than that, it's a fun baseball game, and I do recommend picking up for only $1. So yeah. All right, now moving on, we have Fall Guys, a very fun and also famous multiplayer game, or party game, I should say. Um, Now, at first, Fall Guys used to run terrible on the Switch. However, it has been updated to sort of work a little bit better. I have noticed the frame rates are a lot smoother, which I do appreciate that a lot. Because my goodness, the frame rate sucked so badly um, before this update. And also, I know it's because of the Switch too, so that makes sense. And yeah, but overall, the game was fine. I have such a blast with it. Being able to do go and do these obstacles time after time again and going for the crown. It's such an awesome thing, and yeah, I just have so much fun with it. Um, 7 out of 10 only because of the microtransactions. That's the only thing that sucks about it. Alrighty, moving on to Rocket League. Um, this game can sort of have its issues on the Switch One. I especially with the game booting up, because my goodness, at least for me, I've been experiencing this game being stuck on like the Psyonix logo or the Rocket League title screen for a few minutes, which sucks. Because like my goodness, why does that even happen? I've noticed that doesn't really happen as much anymore, but it still does happen, so that's a bit of a bother. But yeah, but other than that, Rocket League is still a fun game. I love being able to play soccer as a vehicle, though. It's such a cool concept, honestly. And yeah, and with that, I am gonna give this game a 7.5 out of 10, just because I do think same with Fall Guys, the microtransactions do kill it a bit. Alrighty, now moving on to Mega Strikers. Now this is a game that I was very hyped into, but then it sort of died after some time. And sadly, this game isn't gonna get any more content added to it, which sucks. But I mean, I do understand because like the game really wasn't that popular, nor was it making any money. But yeah, but Mega Strikers is almost like League of Legends, but with soccer mechanics added to it. And whenever I would play the game, I would have such a blast with it. But yeah, but that's pretty much it. That's all you can really do is just play soccer games, and that's it. There's no story mode. There's nothing really else to it. Besides, excuse me, besides battle passes and whatnot. So yeah, and also microtransactions too. So with that, I am gonna give this game a 6 out of 10, just because there's not much really to go back into this game anymore. Unlike Rocket League and Fall Guys, which I do go back to. So yeah, and now with the fact that there's no more content being added, there's really no point in me going back to this game at all. Alrighty, moving on to Ape Out. This is an indie game where you are playing as an ape trying to escape fellow humans. And yeah, this is a very fun game. It can be a bit challenging though, but I do love the art style for it. I believe it's made by Devolver Digital. And yeah, again, you're playing as an ape trying to escape. You're able to kill people, use them as your guns, or capture people who are holding guns, and you're able to shoot them against other humans. It's such a fun game overall. Trying to dodge as many bullets as you can while also not dying. So yeah, it's a fun game overall, and yeah, I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10, just because the game isn't really that long. I mean, it really depends on like how often you get killed. That's sort of what makes the time go a little bit longer for this game. Um, so yeah, it only gives you like maybe like 4 or 5 levels, and that's about it. But they're sort of long levels too. So I mean, you can't really complain too much. But yeah, 8 out of 10. I definitely do recommend picking up Ape Out. Alrighty, now moving on to Boomerang Fu. Now this is a very fun party game where you are playing as different kinds of food items, like a watermelon, a bowl of ramen noodles, um, a sandwich, and whatnot, donuts, and other many food items. And yeah, and your job is to motor each other with a boomerang. There are some like items that you can use in the game as well. And the way that this goes is that there's a point system, and oh my goodness, there's a point system where once a player reaches a certain amount of points, they can get they win overall. And yeah, I mean overall it's very fun. I saw this game played once at a PAX Arena live stream, and I was like, oh man, that looks fun. I kind of want to go play it myself. And when I did, I had such a great time with it. But yeah, giving this an overall score, I would give it a 7 out of 10, because there's really nothing else to it besides just battling each other out, and that's it. There's no story mode. I don't even think there's an online mode either. So it's really just local co-op play, and that's about it. Next up here we have all the Dadish games. Now, if you don't know what Dadish is, it's an indie game, or it's an indie franchise, a game franchise, where you are a radish who is a dad, and he has to go and save all of his children in different levels. Now, I from Dadish 1 to 3, these are all 8-bit games, and they sort of add new mechanics in each installment, or at least new characters that you can use to your abilities. And yeah, each level has a star as well as a child radish. And yeah, these games can be pretty funny from time to time and whatnot. The levels themselves are big, and but not they're big but not too big, but yeah, but the levels themselves are fun, and I do recommend playing them when it's on sale as well. I'm gonna give each of these games a 7.5 out of 10. Just because once you're done with it, there isn't much to go back to, unless you want to 100% it. So yeah, at least these 3 games, I probably beat them in like 3 to 4 hours. So yeah, 7.5 out of these for all of them. And yeah, now moving on to Dadish 3D. Now the only thing that's different about this is it's Dadish, but it's in 3D. I know, what a shock. But yeah, I being able to bring Dadish over to the 3D space, I was not expecting that to happen at all. So the developer, I believe his name is, that might be the company's name, but that also might be the name of the actual creator themselves, Thomas K. Young. They've been doing such a fantastic job with these games that I really do have to give I have to tip my hat off to them, as well as their development team. And yeah, Dadish 3D is just the same game, but it's in 3D. You're able to move the camera around and have a bunch of fun with the lands and levels and whatnot. So yeah, I'll give this one an 8 out of 10. Next up we have is She Wants Me Dead. Now this is actually sort of based on a music, also a music video as well, where a cat is trying to kill their human owner. And yeah, now for the game itself, you're going across a bunch of, I believe 10 levels, all of which are difficult as well. You're trying to dodge a bunch of spike traps and some swinging spikes and whatnot, swinging traps. And overall, you're going from left to right, trying to reach the end while not getting yourself killed. Because one touch of a spike or a trap can kill you instantly. So yeah, I'll give this one a 6 out of 10 just because there isn't much to it. Also, like once you beat all of the 10 levels, it just sort of, that's it. So yeah. Also, the game can be a little bit can break sometimes. So that's not very fun at all. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for me. Next up here we have is the Mutant Muds collection. Now this is a collection that comes with 3 different games. Mutant Muds, I believe it's called Super Deluxe or Super Challenge. Then you also have like some Mutant Muds puzzle game. But yeah, now I believe the first 2 games are part of the 3DS games. The same might be said for the puzzle one as well, but I'm not too sure about it. So yeah. But either way, these are very fun games. The company itself might not be the best, but the games themselves are the best. And yeah, I've had such a great time with them. They can be sort of difficult sometimes, but overall, they're still fun games nonetheless. I do love the soundtrack, and I do love the graphics for them. Also, 8-bit as well. I should say, or maybe 16-bit, or maybe a little bit of both, I should say. So yeah. But if I'm gonna give this a score, I'm probably gonna give it a 7 out of 10 just because of just for the entire collection. So yeah. Next up here we have is Hyper Drone S, and I'm gonna give this game like maybe a 5 out of 10. I have fun with the game itself. I got it on sale, but other than that, it's really nothing more than just drones flying around. You do have some various tracks to fly in, but that's about it. You do also have some different drones that you can fly, all which I believe they all might have different capabilities or different stats. But other than that, it's really nothing more. It's sort of just a low budget racing drone flying game, but it's still fun nonetheless, and I sort of had a great time with it. But again, there's really nothing for you to go back to, and with how many other racing games on the Switch, you can find better ones as well. So yeah, so that's why I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. But I mean, don't take it the wrong way. I still had fun with this game. And last but not least, we have YouTube. And why am I including YouTube? Well, it's because YouTube is seen as a digital game key card. So clearly, Nintendo thinks of YouTube as a game. So I am going to review YouTube as a game as well. But yeah, YouTube is probably my most watched software on the Switch. The Switch is basically a YouTube machine at night. So yeah, being able to watch YouTube at night on my TV without having to actually go and use the YouTube app on my TV, instead using the Switch one, that's very beneficial for me and very easy to do. So yeah, being able to watch videos on the Switch is amazing. Heck, you might be even watching this video on your Switch right now. So yeah, and that's pretty much it for my digital collection. Sorry if this is too long. I sort of I did the same thing as I did with my previous with the physical collection. I went way too deep into these games and my thoughts on them. So yeah, But overall, that's it for me. That was all of my digital games. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Are some of these your favorite or some of them not? Do you have any of these games on physical? Well, the ones that they're all on physical, I should say. And if so, which one do you have? Also, how many digital games do you have as well? So yeah. But and overall, while these games are fantastic, I still plan on being a physical cartridge owner or a physical owner to the day I die. So yeah, digital will only be like a convenience for me from time to time, but not so much. Like, but if there is an option to get a physical one, I will do that as well. But yeah, but that's it for me. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and that's it for me. This is Superman 90J signing out. I'll see you all in the next video.